What does it really take for a young superstar to silence the noise, flip the script, and remind the world exactly who she is? And when the pressure is at its loudest, when critics are circling and social media is buzzing with doubt, how does a player respond on the biggest stages? Welcome back to Trending Update USA. I am Stefan, and today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about matches of the season. Coco Gauff stunning Dubai 2026 in a finish that no one saw coming. Coming into the 2026 Dubai Tennis Championships in the city of Dubai, Coco Gauff was not the overwhelming favorite. The headlines leading into the tournament focused more on consistency questions, recent early exits, and whether the rest of the field had started to decode her game. The event itself, officially known as the Dubai Tennis Championships, has always been a proving ground for the elite. Fast courts, high expectations, and a field stacked with top-tier talent make it one of the toughest stops on the WTA calendar. In the final stages of the tournament, Gauff found herself in a tense, momentum-swinging battle that looked at one point like it was slipping away. Down in the deciding moments, facing a near-impossible scenario, she didn't just survive. She recalibrated. She shifted her court positioning, trusted her serve under immense pressure, and most importantly steadied her emotions. The match ended in dramatic fashion with Gauff sealing victory in a way that left the crowd stunned. Not because it was flashy, but because it was composed, controlled, mature. Now, let's step back from the highlight reels and talk about what this actually means. Coco Gauff has been in the spotlight since she was 15 years old. From her breakthrough at Wimbledon to becoming a Grand Slam champion, she has grown up under constant global attention. Every match is analyzed. Every loss becomes a narrative, and every win is framed as either validation or expectation fulfilled. That kind of exposure is rare in any sport, especially for someone so young. This Dubai run was not just about lifting a trophy. It was about navigating the emotional weight that comes with being a generational talent. When you are Coco Gauff, you are not just competing against opponents. You are competing against projections. You are measured against your past self, against legends, against what fans think you should already be. What stood out in this match was not simply the forehand winners or defensive slides. It was her body language. Earlier in her career, we saw moments where frustration crept in. Double faults at crucial times, rushed decisions. But in Dubai 2026, there was a noticeable calm. Even when she trailed, there was no panic. That emotional control is often the invisible difference between good players and champions. And here is something that rarely gets discussed enough: the mental toll of constant comparison. In today's era, athletes like Gauff share space in headlines with names like Sabalenka and Swiatek. These are dominant figures in women's tennis, each with their own narrative, their own strengths. Every tournament becomes a referendum. Is Gauff closing the gap? Is she falling behind? Is she leading the new generation? That type of framing creates external pressure that is difficult to escape. And then you add social media. In 2026, athletes are not shielded from commentary. They see it. Even if they try not to, it filters through. A missed backhand becomes a trending clip. A tough loss becomes a viral debate. Privacy in modern sports is shrinking. And for a player who turned professional in the age of Instagram and TikTok, there is almost no separation between performance and perception. What makes Gauff's Dubai performance so compelling is that it looked like someone who had learned to filter the noise. Not ignore it completely, because that is nearly impossible, but manage it, channel it. There were moments in that match where the camera zoomed in between points, and instead of visible frustration, you saw self-talk, deep breaths, tactical resets. Those are the habits of someone who has worked on the mental side of the game. And let's be honest, the conversation around Coco Gauff has sometimes been unfair. When she wins, it is expected. When she loses, it is magnified. That is the burden of early success. Winning a major at a young age doesn't reduce pressure. It multiplies it. Suddenly, anything less than dominance feels like the desert air in Dubai shimmered under the floodlights, thick with anticipation and heat. Inside the iconic Aviation Club Tennis Center, thousands of fans leaned forward in their seats, phones raised, breaths held. It was the final of the Dubai Tennis Championships 2026, and the atmosphere felt electric, like something historic was about to unfold. On one side of the net stood Coco Gauff. Just 21 years old, yet already a Grand Slam champion and global icon, Gauff carried herself with a calm that seemed almost supernatural. Across from her was the reigning world number one, a relentless baseliner riding a 17-match winning streak and widely expected to claim the title. The odds were tight. The tension tighter. What followed was a match that would be talked about for years. Set 1, the storm arrives. From the first rally, it was clear this wouldn't be a routine final. The world number 1 came out blazing, deep returns, sharp angles, heavy topspin pushing Gauff behind the baseline. Within minutes, Coco was down 1-4. The Dubai crowd murmured nervously. A double fault handed over break point. A forehand clipped the tape and fell back. 1-5. Commentators whispered about nerves. But if there's one thing the tennis world has learned about Coco Gauff, it's this: she does not unravel easily. At 2-5, something shifted. She stepped inside the baseline. Took the ball earlier. Started attacking second serves with fearless backhands down the line. The same backhand that had once been questioned now roared with authority. Game by game, she clawed back. 3-5. 4-5. The crowd began to rise. At 5-5, the energy inside the stadium exploded. Every rally became a war of attrition. 30-shot exchanges. Sliding defense. Impossible gets. Gauff forced a tiebreak. And in that tiebreak, she played like a woman possessed. An ace out wide. A backhand return winner that kissed the sideline. A fearless forehand drop shot on set point. 7-6, 7-4. She had stolen the set from the brink of collapse. Set 2, the collapse. Champions respond. And the world number 1 did exactly that. She raised her level to something almost unfair. Her first serve percentage climbed. She pinned Gauff in the corners. Every rally felt like survival. Coco's forehand began to misfire. A few inches long. A few inches wide. Within 25 minutes, the scoreboard read 1-6. The final was heading to a deciding set. As the players changed ends, Gauff sat still, towel over her head. No panic. No dramatics. Just breath. If she was tired, she didn't show it. If she was doubting, she didn't reveal it. Set 3, where legends are forged. The final set began like a heavyweight fight. Break for Gauff. 2-0. Immediate break back. 2-1. Another break. 3-1. The rallies were brutal. Sweat dripped onto the court. Shoes squeaked like warning sirens. At 4-4, after nearly 2.5 hours of battle, the moment arrived. Gauff faced triple break point. Lose this game, and she would serve to stay in the match. The first break point, a 24-shot rally ending with a defensive lob.